All right. What's up, guys? In this video, I got a good buddy of mine, commercial real estate broker, one of the best in the business in Los Angeles, Senna De La Cruz. What's up, Senna?
How you doing, Chris? Thank you for that kind introduction.
No problem. So today we're going to talk about inflation and what you're doing, what I'm doing, and maybe some pieces of value for other people out there that how to expand into the what's going on into this recession, this hyperinflation, and how to be successful during these downturns or these tricky times. So, Senna, first off, what is your strategy? A lot of people are contracting, some people are expanding. What is your strategy and your mindset going into this 2023-2024 recession and hyperinflation world?
Good question. I'm hearing two questions there, and so I'll try and answer them as best as I can. My strategy is, I think, in order to survive and not only survive but thrive through this recession, is, let's just say in commercial real estate, a healthy year is there's going to be 1,000 deals, right? And there's a ton of brokers and a ton of companies and landlords who are looking to do deals, but there's only going to be 1,000 in a healthy year. Let's say in a recession, that gets cut to 500, right? So that means that there's less pie to eat from. So how do you make sure that you still get a massive share of that pie, right? Because there's just going to be less to grab from and less deals to go around.
Mm-hmm.
My opinion is you got to really think outside the box on how do you make your systems and processes more efficient, and then how do you crank those dials and leverage those systems and processes to just be more active, right?
So let me ask you a question based on that. So like systems and processes more efficient. Okay, like as an insurance agent, we're talking to businesses. You're talking to massive businesses. I keep hearing them all like, we're cutting costs, Chris. Like we need to lower costs. This is like the time where like we're struggling financially. We're in the red. Like I'm hearing that left and right. Are you cutting costs?
Me personally, no. I've tried to budget because you know, and to give you some perspective without giving away my youth here, I was in 8th grade when the last recession hit in 08, right? Yeah. So this is, I don't want to say I'm excited because I know that, there can be terrible things that happen in the recession. But I think it's a great opportunity for people and companies and investors who have been strategic and been patient. And if they've been saving their money and kind of planning for this, window of opportunity, it's
So
a
what
good
is that?
time.
What are you waiting for?
I'm waiting. So at
Be
the
straight
beginning
up,
of
dude.
this,
Like tell like,
at the beginning of this year,
and people want to know, like, dude, straight up, just like where if the shit hits the fan, where are you putting your money? Like, what are you doing?
yeah, I would plan to put it in real estate personally. Right now, it's funny. I have some friends that are like, they're taking courses on real estate and trying to learn the game, which I think is one of the best things you can do. Learn the game, figure out how the pieces to the puzzle work, figure out how the pieces on the chessboard work, so that when you see an opportunity, you can attack. Because if you don't know the game, it doesn't matter if the opportunity is there or not.
Sure.
Says I know people that are like, all these courses are telling me start now, invest now, buy real estate now, but then they go underwrite a deal and the deal isn't there.
Be devil's advocate to that. Like, there's also everybody like says like if you're always waiting for the right opportunity, the right timing, you might just end up never doing anything.
Right. Well, that's to the people that are just like not taking the courses and not educating themselves and not underwriting deals day in and day out.
So then what happens?
Because if you know the material and you know the game, you're going to see the opportunity. And then if you just don't take that opportunity, that's on you.
That's on you.
But that advice, I believe, in my opinion, is to the people that are just like, well, I'm not going to read the real estate book. I'm not going to take the course. I'm not going to underwrite deals on the weekends and practice because like right now I'm just hearing the talking heads on the news being like, it's not a good time to invest.
So it sounds like you're saving cash.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
As much as possible, waiting to strike for the opportunities that are game changing.
On the personal investing side. Now, on my
Personal.
business
Yeah.
side,
Business.
I personally dumped a bunch of money into my own brokerage business in December and January of this year.
How?
And I put money into a database for more potential leads,
Data
marketing, and as well as an outbound system that helps me automate my outreach.
Yeah, dude, that's key. Cause like,
So shout out to you, dude. You've been doing that for like years now.
thank you. So, dude, yeah, that's one of the biggest things. People ask me all the time. They're like, "How are you getting leads? How do you get dude?" Literally, it just comes down to activity.
Yeah.
Like, if you're putting out more messages, more emails,
That's right.
more
That's
phone
right.
calls, more everything, like activity is the number one thing.
That's right.
And attention. So like getting in front of people, and then so yeah, you can have activity, like sending out mailers. Mailers are trash.
Mm-hmm.
So for everybody out there doing mailers, you need to take that money and put it into email marketing, texting, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, TikTok ads. Like this will probably be a TikTok.
I will say real quick, mailers, people think, and I've asked,
I think they're dog shit.
high producing brokers, I've asked them, do you do mailers? And a lot of them say, I've never gotten a deal from a mailer. But the point of a mailer is for you to send it to the person. They get so many damn mailers from you. And then all of a sudden, when you do call them,
They know who you are.
they know who you are. Because without the mailer,
which is branding, dude.
Which
And
is
then
branding.
that's why I'm saying like that money spent on those mailers is better put towards a short video
Perhaps,
that's like this, that's blasted on every social media, targeted to your audience.
That's
it's just
true.
a better spent
That's true.
money. So if you're down to like when you're looking at activity and all those different things with attention, and that is your goal to brand and keep your brand inside somebody's head when it's time to do the deal, the best place to do that is social media.
Sure.
Everybody's on their phones.
Yeah.
Like it's getting worse and worse and worse, as we all know.
Yeah.
So if you're going to spend the money on that stuff, spend it on the most efficient. That's it. Like efficiency wins.
Yeah.
I think we're going to win because we're doing it a lot
Sure.
more than other insurance agents.
Sure. And I would say too, like, for example, handwritten notes. If you
Those are
take
good.
the time to send a handwritten note, you can't tell you how many times people have told me, like, I got your note. I really appreciate that. People don't do this. This is a lost art.
Yeah.
So the
So
more
have you done some handwritten notes?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What do you write?
I'll literally write them myself.
What do you write?
And when I talk, every person I talk to, I'll immediately hang up. If I'm not at the office, I'll just put a note in my phone and I'll say handwritten note to blank. And then I'll go and I'll just say, nice talking to you. Here when you need me for all things real estate. Boom, send it out.
Did you put any like a gift card in there or something or no?
No. That's just like nice. If I get them on the phone and I have even if they say not interested, like.
Can you automate that?
Yeah, I think you can, but people know that it's automated.
I don't know. Some of my cards that go out, people think I actually wrote them. It's pretty funny.
No way.
Yeah, I swear, dude. Even the other day, my mom thought I wrote one.
Nah.
Yeah, when your mom thinks that you wrote,
she's
like, "You wrote this, right?" And I was like, "No,
oh, shit.
No, mom, that's auto-generated." So yeah, if you can find there's a bunch of sendoutcards.com or a bunch of different types.
Yeah, there you go.
There's like a million of them that tie to your CRM, so that if you just plug that person in there, you can have an automation just sent out right away, dude. It just keeps you going all the fucking time.
Yeah,
because it's. When you just plug somebody into your database, you're not going to, dude, some days you're not going to feel like writing out on handwritten note.
No.
But that robot will send out every single time. And it's just like when you keep doing that shit over and over and over, it's where you start to dominate.
Yeah, it's true. And so your second question, inflation.
Yeah.
I mean, this is I think we're in unprecedented times, right? Like banks are closing down, the Fed's raising rates, unemployment is still low. The industrial real estate market, which is the space I play in, the way that the landscape is right now, it's never been like this, ever. It's never been this tight.
What do you mean tight?
Like, so there's 1.7 billion square feet of industrial space in LA. Only 0.9% of that space is vacant.
Okay, but like talk to me like I don't know anything about real estate at all.
So that means that out of 1.7 billion square feet, there's only about, I think that comes out to like 13 million square feet is vacant right now. Meaning,
so is that bad? Like, dude, nobody knows those numbers. Like, to you, that makes perfect sense.
Well, let me finish.
Okay, go ahead.
So if out of 1.7 billion, which is a huge number, only 13 million square feet is vacant, meaning that there's nobody in the buildings right now, meaning I need space tomorrow.
Is that good or bad?
You only have 13 million square feet to choose from, which means a lot of these, a
Bad.
lot of that 13 million can be taken up by 3 1 million square foot buildings. So that means you only have 10 million to choose from. And if you need a 50,000 square foot building that's just your building with 8 dock doors, 5,000 square feet of office, a certain ceiling height,
Mm-hmm.
only out of 10 million square feet, the odds of you finding that, plus there's other people bidding on that same space, it's highly, 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 highly competitive.
Okay. So basically, there's not enough supply for the
Yeah,
demand.
correct.
There's more people needing the space than there is available, which drives the prices up.
Correct. That's why it's massive right now. And so then like these people like Amazon gobbled up a bunch of space.
Which makes it super weird because we were just saying like everybody's tightening up on their expenses.
Yeah.
So like, why are all these big ass companies that are calling me and you saying like we're tightening up, we need to save money, everything's about like cutting costs right now, and then you're talking that all the space is like more expensive. Is that why? Part of
Um
it? Is that part of the reason?
so a percentage, okay, if you take all total retail sales and you take what is the percentage of total retail sales that e-commerce takes up? Does
Mm-hmm.
that make sense? So what
That
is
e-commerce takes up.
yeah,
Okay, so yeah,
out of total
it's
retail
not
sales?
in store. It's actually e-commerce. Like people are buying online.
That's right. In China right now, it's 28% of total retail sales
Is
is
e-commerce? I'm
e-commerce.
surprised. I think it's
Here,
more.
it's 14%.
Wow, I think it's way more.
So like by
I buy
20,
everything online.
so by 20, exactly. So by 2032,
I don't have time.
both of those numbers are expected to double
By what?
by 2032, just because of what you just said. People are
2032.
shopping different. So back,
Surprise is not more right now. Do you think it's middle America just keeping us going on the
uh,
retail? Because like, dude,
well,
everybody does Amazon.
yeah, it's true, but the infrastructure was not there to support the demand and the because it was moving in that way already, but
Mm-hmm.
we just didn't even. So when COVID hit, we were like,
It
everybody
just
needs to
blew
shop.
up.
So now there's a lot of people that will never go back. But what happened during COVID and why people still had some like good years after COVID
Mm-hmm.
is because people adjusted to, okay, now I shop online. Now I got this stimulus check. We printed a bunch of money. And so people spent money remodeling their homes, getting it delivered.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's kind of cooled off. However, so now the consumer is not spending as much, but the way when they do spend,
Mm-hmm.
it's still online. Some
Okay.
people are going to retail and it's coming back, yes, but most of the time, like you just said, you buy everything online.
Dude, I buy everything online. I don't want to buy. I don't like going to stores.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's like me being a guy that just hates shopping.
yeah,
I hate going into stores. I just much rather, especially as a business owner, I'm like, dude, I could press 3 buttons on my phone. It'll be there tomorrow.
yeah,
That's fine. Like, I'll just wait till tomorrow, and it
yeah,
just shows up at my door. It's just massively more efficient. Like
yeah,
at the end of the day, like I always come back to like efficiency.
yeah,
What can we do to be the most efficient and most effective?
yeah.
And shopping, that's like one of the easy basic things that you could just save yourself an hour.
Yeah.
Time is money. Like that is the reality of it.
So yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say I know exactly how to navigate this because I've never been through this. This is unprecedented times. A lot of people have never been through this.
Mm-hmm.
So
If we had a crystal ball, we'd be rich.
exactly.
We don't know what's going to happen.
So right now, I'm personally investing money and time into just bettering my skill set. So
How?
reinvesting back into my business by um, buying like a new database, uh, purchasing an outreach tool, going to Toastmasters, reading books. I just bought like 3 fantastic books and understanding, like I was saying, the whole game
Mm-hmm.
so that because it's all patterns,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's like when certain levers are pulled, then it forces you to look at other levers and you can say, okay, now since these 3 levers are down, that means these 5 levers are up.
Mm-hmm.
So if I know the game, I know which levers to pull.
One thing I will say about you, dude, that I've noticed that I think is really good is you're always like curious, asking older people, like, hey, dude, when you were in 2008, what happened, or how did you navigate that, or what did you do? Like, is there anything that you see now? It's like being curious and asking smart older people in the business that have more experience than you is essential. So whatever, I think that's a good.
Do you do that?
I try to as much as I can.
And do you feel like you get succinct, good answers? Because honestly, like
No.
I don't really ever get
Dude,
good,
even
succinct answers.
no. Like a lot of them are always like super vague. It's like, we don't really know. It's like nobody ever really knows. But that's why it's important to make a video like this too, where we're talking about it, because
Yeah.
it's like, remember, nobody actually knows what's going on.
But there are people, I think, that if they're paying attention like this,
Yeah.
maybe they'll start to recognize
For sure.
different landscapes, and that's
Yeah.
what I hope for. But like you said, I don't really get ever like a
No, but I think at the end of the day, like you really just want to look to the people that are the most successful and just take their feedback with a grain of salt, and then try to apply it and use your own best judgment. Like I've started to make a lot more decisions based on like what I think is right, instead of just listening blindly to people, because I started to realize like half the stuff I'm doing is right. Like I'm doing a lot of good stuff that's just right. And that's why I think people get value from some of my stuff too, because I'm like, this worked. But a lot of it has to do trial and error.
For
and if you can expedite that by asking. So I think that's why I think it's dope that you do that, because anything to speed up the process. Knowledge is the only way, and reinvesting in yourself.
And then a big thing is discernment, right? Because if you ask a person and they tell you like, don't worry about that, man. Like, don't like, then you're just, that's a horrible advice. You know?
What do you mean?
Like, what if you ask someone and they answer you in confidence, but it was a complete like dog shit answer. Like they're just answering because they're older than you and they think that they are entitled to answer your question. Like a lot of people, when you ask them that, don't have the humility to be like, honestly,
I don't know. Yeah.
And they'll give you some ridiculous answer.
Right. That's actually bad feedback.
That's bad feedback.
Yeah, it's true.
So it's the discernment
for sure
for you to be like, wait a second,
that's true. Yeah. And I think if you have any business sense, you can tell, like, does this person really know?
Yeah.
Like, for example, one person I ask a lot of stuff to is my buddy Jeff. Good mentor for me in insurance. And when he answers something and he's like, oh yeah, of course, and he'll like know something quick and he'll say it with confidence and like, that's how you do this and this. Like, do trust me. Right. And I'm just like, okay, you're right. Like, you're probably right.
And he probably gives you some examples. He's like, dude, I just did this, like, or I saw this happen or whatever.
But if you hear him say like, I'm not sure, man, like, or there's certain areas where you can see when people are doing good stuff. Like, people should be asking me about marketing. And like, really, that's what that I think is one of my major strengths. Sales and closing, not necessarily always like my best strength. Like big sales and closing, people should be asking you that stuff. Like, how did you manage to get these massive accounts?
Yeah, so I'm still like working on that skill set, because I think one of my skills is the discernment to be able to choose like who's the best person to bring in, who's the best senior partner to bring in for this particular deal. I need to actually kind of take a step back and understand like the mechanics of my thought process in choosing those partners.
Maybe process it out.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe have it actually in a written process.
Exactly. But first when I have an assignment or a project and I'm like, it's probably good to have some more seasoned broker or professional in here, then you got to put your ego at the door and be like, this is the right guy to bring in. And so it's been fun, like bringing in, because I just severed my relationship with a formal business partner. So now I can bring in partners and do deals and bring in the right person who I think is fit for the deal. And I've learned so much. Like, everybody's got their own pitching style. Some people have structure. Some people go in and wing it, which I don't think you should do. So to answer your question, I'm trying to like really understand the mechanics of that stuff.
That's good stuff. Okay, so just to kind of wrap it, top 3 things that you should be doing going into this inflation recession. Just rapid, like top 3 things.
Top 3 things. Identify your skills. That's one. Identify your skills. Identify where you want to go and what skills are needed to get there.
So number 1, identify your skills.
Identify your current skills.
Okay.
Right? What are you good at? What are you good at? And what are you? And then to kind of lead you to like what you're not good at. Understand where you want to go. Okay. And then what are the skills that are required there? For example, right now, you're at a desk job. where you want to go is you want to be the person public speaking for your company.
Sure.
Let's just say that's where you want to go. So
What do I need to do?
Do you have the skill of public speaking? Yes or no? If you do, great. If you don't, start doing it so you can one day get there.
Yeah.
So that when the opportunity presents itself, you're good.
Yeah. All right, these are mine for top 3 things for recession.
That was only 2, but whatever.
Oh yeah, what's the third one?
The third one, take care of your health, because without it, you're nothing.
True. Hey, that's a good, honestly, I wasn't even going to say, this is just straight business, but that's a great point, because that is really, really important to be even showing up to do this stuff on a regular, because consistency and execution of all these things you're talking about is impossible if you're like feeling like crap.
Yeah, that's right.
If you're not feeling good, that's good luck. Like
if you're waking up hungover,
if you're feeling sharp, this is a Sunday morning, dude. We're feeling good right now. Let's go. We're sharp. Our bodies are intact. Hitting yoga, hitting like soccer. You know, lifting, meditating, doing everything up here between the ears. Anyways, these are my top 3 things that before the recession, or as we're in the recession and the inflation times, things that are super important to do to just crush. I think number 1, speed. Like you need to just do stuff fast. Like don't sit there and hesitate and think about how do I do this campaign or how do I make these sales? Like, dude, you need to just get out there and do like activity, speed. Mm-hmm. Money needs speed. It's true. That's number 1. Number 2, execution. Like when the way you're executing it and having it in an efficient process. So that kind of goes back to like understanding your skills, what you can't do, and then just overall looking at it and seeing how the most efficient way to go about that speed is, because speed and activity is great, but if you're just doing blind activity and speed, then it could really
be spinning your wheels.
Yeah, you're just spinning your wheels. So execution of that and like having it dialed in. And then lastly is just expanding, dude. Like don't contract. Like there is no space for contraction. Even during downturns, like you need to just go. Mm-hmm. You need to double down and expand into the recession. Grant Cardone talks about that all the time. And I think like I heard that years ago, and I knew there was going to be times like this that were coming. And I was like, I'm stoked right now. Like I'm hyped. I'm going to just I'm doubling down on marketing. I'm going harder on hiring.
Nice.
I just hired another person. I'm looking at hiring. We're at 6 people right now, 6 team members. I might get a 7th, 8th here in the next couple of years. I want to buy another piece of real estate. I want to just keep pouring more money into market. Really what it comes down to is marketing, leads, and execution of your sales, and then having a team to support and keep building your business or whatever it might be.
Let me ask you something. Yeah. I do have some people who are like in commercial real estate, and golf is a big part of like client whining and dining. Developers host golfing. Yeah. Some of the like credentials, so SIOR, and they host golf tournaments for brokers and developers and investors to come in. Yeah. So some people, their thing is like when the recession hits, they're like, okay, well, I'm going to go learn how to play golf because it's part of the business. And also I've kind of have some interest in golf. What's your take on that?
I think, dude, learn to play golf whenever you want to learn to play golf. Like you don't need to wait for the recession to start playing golf. If that's how your mindset is, dude, you need to just be doing the same beast activities on a regular basis every single day, showing up with the right mindset, working your face off, going to the gym, going hard on the phones, going into the office. Like if you think that golf is going to help you build your business, and that kind of goes back into like activity and hosting those events, like you can't stop doing that because it's a recession or there's inflation. Like if that's part of your activity, like go out there and pull out your driver and start swinging and get your strokes down, dude. Because if you don't want to go out there looking like a dumbass too in front of these big guys. Like you want to crush it. So,
but it is 12:24. I gotta go, dude.
Okay, that's it. Lesson. That's a wrap. Thanks so much, Senna. Good stuff. Everybody, good luck in the inflation recession. Expand through it. That's all we got.
That's the main point.